Welcome everyone to day 2 of the Culture of Care Summit. You are joining us for the first session of the day in room 4, calling all students an open discussion, how generative AI can support or Scrooge your goals for success. Today we have Dr. Michelle Rosser-Majors, who will be exploring this topic in a discussion with you all. So, Michelle, would you like to take it away?
Absolutely. Thanks, Kara. Thanks, Harla. And welcome everyone to this session. I'm going to be really frank. I want this to be a reciprocal session. I'd love to have you talk out loud if you'd like. Don't feel like you're interrupting me. I dropped a PDF earlier in the chat. I'm going to drop it again. And I'll drop it one more time towards the end in case you want to follow along with some of the guidelines that we're going to talk about. But truly don't feel like you're interrupting. I want this to be a successful conversation because this is a serious thing where AI can help or hurt the types of things that we do. And so as Dr. Metz said, my name is Michelle Rosser-Majors. I'm an assistant dean, College of Arts and Sciences. I have been in the teaching profession for, goodness, just over 25 years. I can't believe I'm that old, except when I look in the mirror. And what I can tell you, first of all, is I have never seen technology go as fast as it's going now. And I think it's important that we address how these are useful, but how they can also really put you in a bad situation, especially as a student. I don't want to see anyone, get kicked out of school because they don't know how to use resources. They don't know how to use them to help your research be easier, to help you understand more sides of the story. All of those kind of things that can actually help us reduce our bias when we are looking into things, depending on the class and the content. And although this is very specific to probably writing, I want you to think about too, when you're in online classrooms, especially, and you have prompts and different things like that, and how AI could possibly help you dig deeper faster so that you can identify those resources that may help you to create a more knowledgeable self. And that's really what you want. Because quite frankly, if you're using AI to do your work, why are you a student? There's no reason for you to be paying for this. You can do that on your own. This environment is to help build skills for you, knowledge for you, to advance your careers, to further you along in potentially graduate school, whatever your goals are, even to help be that break in your family that shows your family you all can do this. And I will say before I really dive in is one philosophy that I've always held very strongly about education. I wrote a children's book years ago about it, but is that having an education is not about money. It's about choices in your life. And having an education does offer you the ability to not be stuck somewhere you don't want to be. But if you don't use the right methods to develop your knowledge, to develop your presentation skills, AI can do that, to develop how you come off as a professional to others, then you're not going to keep that new job for very long, quite frankly. You need to have that knowledge. You need to know how to use things. The other reason I want to jump into this is in a presentation I gave yesterday. One of the stats showed that 71% of employers across the country are hiring people with less experience, but with AI knowledge. And so I think it's really important for students, educators, leaders, whoever you are, is to become very pro advocating for yourself. There are all kinds of free training out there. You can use AI to actually learn about AI. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too, because more than anything, our university wants you to be prepared for that workforce. And if that is something that they're looking for, let's teach you how to use it well, not how to use it, sorry for lack of a better word, to cheat. Don't cheat yourself. Use AI just like we learned to use calculators to make our ability to be more efficient easier. So I'm going to share the quote that's at the top of the PDF first. It's responsible AI is explainable, so you can explain how you used it. It's monitorable. So you can monitor what it's giving you, assess whether it's accurate, be able to do your critical thinking due diligence. It's reproducible. So AI can help you reproduce things that you've created and help you advance those things. AI has to be secure as well. Be cautious when you're just using public domain generative AIs, any AIs that you're not logging into, things like that, and even some that you do. Really read those privacy and make sure you're not sharing things you don't want out on the World Wide Web for other people to learn about. Because when you're, let's say, teaching Chat GPT what you want, or sharing, let's say, some of your own research or your findings and asking it if it looks biased, that's going to be fed into all those databases. And so there are ways for you to help prevent that. And that's being proactive to ask AI, how do I prevent this from going out there? Or looking into software that has special. I know a lot of organizations are bringing in secured AI systems. It's also human-centered. That seems like a really strange word, but let's not forget that we must teach AI. There are many people out there teaching AI. This is why AI can be biased. So it's very important for us to also learn that lingo, but it's because it's human-centered on what you need from it. And once you start playing with this, what you're going to find is that sometimes whichever AI generative system you're using, it may not fully understand what you're asking it to do. It may be confused. You have to teach yourself to talk to these things to help them understand what you're needing to learn more about. It needs to be unbiased. And again, AI can be biased, but it can also look at something to see if it thinks it's biased, or to answer a question, is this statement correct? We did some tests on it yesterday. If we have time today, we will. But if not, I'm going to encourage you all how to do these things. But I can take a statement, let's say, that a student makes in a paper, and I can just put that one sentence in there and say, is this statement accurate? And the AI might say, well, it depends, not really in the way they said it. And so AI is a great thing to use to make sure you're not being biased about your opinions, because sometimes we have this tendency, all of us, to seek the things that establish what we believe. That's bias. We don't mean to do it, but we do it. Even in our writing, in our papers, when we have a thesis, we want to prove that this works. That's not our job. Our job is to seek answers to see what works best as researchers, as students, as learners. And lastly, it's justifiable. So you have to use AI to justify why you're using the AI. That means giving it credit. For example, in my presentation yesterday, I made it very clear that I used an image AI producer. I told it what I wanted, the tone I wanted to do, what I wanted it to show people, and I wanted it to be an original image. And it took a few times to get the images I wanted, but then I credited it that all my images were created by this particular generative AI system. Another example that I might throw out there, let's talk dissertation ADP projects. If you're going to use AI to help you find your keywords, let's say you need to identify very good keywords so that you can do better research and do better searches in our libraries. You can ask AI to help you with keywords. It's helping you. It'd be like talking to me and us coming up together with keywords. Be sure in your methodology that you are stating that you use this software to help identify the following keywords. Be upfront and honest with how you use it to help you, to support better research, to support better answers, to support less bias. Sometimes especially online, I live in Oklahoma. All of you we've got Hawaii in the room. We've got North Carolina in the room. Our cultures are different. I may have no idea about events that have happened in your area regarding an area of research I'm into. And so I'm just going to collect what I know about. However, I can ask AI to look across the country to see what has happened in other places and identify resources for me to go read and download. And with that said, you want to always be sure to tell it to show you where to go and find these things. Because if you don't, there are chat GPT. Try it. I've had some students test it and they find it funny. AI comes from all over the place. It will make up references for you if you don't tell it to be sure to find places for you to search for them. So do not trust references, do not trust citations, because they're just trying to make you happy. They're not emotional, but they want the user to be happy. So be very cautious about that. If they don't know how to find the kind of work you're looking for, they're just going to make it up for you. So be careful. So those are the things that really outline responsible AI. And again, if you have questions as we're going on, I think we're monitoring the chat, but don't, feel free to please, speak up. But we're going to talk a little bit about some ethical guidelines for students. Again, we kind of mentioned it, but you need to be using tools to help you enhance your own skills. Again, you need to understand what you're presenting, what you're learning about. That's why you're a student, or again, don't be one. There's a lot of avenues to have knowledge out there where you don't have to pay for school. But to have a degree and be able to say you're an expert in an area is important. It's not important to graduate and say AI was my expert. However, it'd be greatly important to you to be able to say, I'm an expert and I have experience using AI. I've used it to do these things. And again, based on stats right now, that's what employers are looking for is experience, knowledge, and ethical use of AI. So transparency, we kind of talked about that in that area of being justifiable. Transparency, tell us when you use it. We're instructors too. Tell us, be honest when you've used it. If you're trying to make sure, if another good question would be, you're looking for gaps in research. You can write in there, searching for two sides of this issue to make me less biased. I used this and it created these two areas, which I explored. And my ending thoughts on this would be based on these two opposing opinions. So my question for you right now is, before we go into these others, please in the chat or however you want to do it, how many of you in this room, especially students, have you used some type of AI in your work? Really quick. Waterfall. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Excellent. Because if anybody says no, you probably didn't know you were using it. FYI, and that's very confusing sometimes, is that Turnitin, Grammarly, Google searches, all those things are AI. Today, what we're talking about specifically is generative AI. When you type in questions, you type in conversations with a system, trying to get help, answers, support, whatever that is. So again, properly cite, attribute these things, be very clear how you use them, whether it's inside of a paper, at the end of the paper, both. Don't try to hide the use. If you're using it ethically, you have nothing to hide. If you're not using it ethically, you're going to put a damper on your long-term journey as a student and not have the success that you're seeking and potentially waste a lot of money. So really consider that. Verification, kind of mentioned that as well. Verify the accuracy and credibility. I know these wonderful ladies in the room with me right now, they will attest to, we have seen papers where the references are all made up. Let's repeat that, all made up. Maybe two of them are correct. I suggest to every student listening during this call or during a recording, if you are doing any type of research whatsoever, you need to be downloading whatever you are using. If you're using a PDF article from the library, download it to a folder. Download everything. And that way you are absolutely certain, number one, it's accurate. Number two, that you can go back to that article and make sure what you said that article said really says that. Because here's the other problem. When you start looking at certain, even peer-reviewed articles, and you say that this author said this, but it actually came from a different article that somebody else said it, interpreting the other article's opinion. And they didn't perceive it correctly. So now you're spreading inaccurate data. But instead, rather, you can go back, download the article by the other authors, and affirm that you are really saying the truth. And so that's part of that important. Verify, verify, verify. Critical thinking. Use AI as a tool to enhance your own critical thinking. Again, I feel like I have developed so much in the fact that I've learned how certain generative AI, I have to speak to it, how much detail I have to do. I actually figured out one that's been very helpful is I asked for the generative AI. I tell it what I'm wanting, let's say an image. And I say, could you explore what more detail would be great to add to something like this to make it an even better image? And it will say, sure. And it adds all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, this is great. I just don't like this. Can we take all of your ideas and not this and produce this? Sure, they say, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong, but we always want to question. Keep what you want in mind because you're teaching it. Remember, it doesn't know everything. Originality, ensure that your thesis or dissertation represents your own original work and ideas. We all know that, but there's too many times that I think when we're in a frustrated state, we aren't sure of our own writing. We fear we'll fail, that we have a hesitancy to want to use our own work. Please let me assure you, you aren't here. I'm not here because I'm perfect. We each have to develop our skills in different places all the time. Find your area you need to develop and allow things to help you develop that so it does come from you originally. Talking to my team earlier, that was our challenge actually for the year, was to develop our knowledge about AI. And so that was one of our goals for this year. And I think we'll probably expand that goal because it's changing so fast. But what is your goal for you? How can you use AI to expand your own abilities? Because you can actually talk back and forth to generative AI and say, what is wrong with my sentence? What would be a better topic sentence for this? A lot of students have trouble creating that topic sentence and keeping those paragraphs. Understandably, they quit teaching diagramming many years ago. So you can ask these systems to help teach you. Also, don't forget that sometimes we may not understand the feedback we're getting from instructors. We speak a different language. We could ask for clarification from the instructor, yes, but what if we still don't understand? Have you ever thought about taking the feedback and saying, this is my feedback from my instructor. Can you please elaborate on potentially what that instructor is trying to help me with? AI can help do that. You don't know how to attach a zip file to a discussion forum that you've been asked to do that for. Ask AI. It will tell you how to do that. Ask it how to do a PA, and generally it will tell you where to go to learn how to do that. Ask it for free training on that you can take that will advance the skills that you need to advance. How long would it take you to find all of these free seminars and workshops? Probably a long time. But AI can help you find them and find the ones you can afford. Use it to help you, not to put you, again, in that potential plagiarism, unethical work lane. It can save you so much time, but you must use it ethically. Again, avoiding plagiarism. You want to be careful. You're plagiarizing even the generative AI if you use that. Okay? It's not your work. Can you ask it to help you reword a sentence? Reword your own paragraph? Absolutely. That's your work. But if you ask it to create a paragraph for you about social cognition, that's its work, not yours. So be very careful. And those things can be identified by instructors in some very interesting ways. Give you a quick example. I did a little test before the summit started, and I had typed up a script for one of my other presentations. And I put it in there and I said, I need this. How long is the script going to be? And it told me, I think 9.8 minutes. And I was like, I really need this to be at 7 minutes. Can you help? It's like, sure, I can help. Runs that through there. You guys, it was the most hilarious wording I would never say these words. I was just like, there's no way I can use this. It was like robust and yeah. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a disaster. If you're letting something else write for you, it's not going to write like you write. We want to hear from you. Others don't want to hear from something that's going to talk about the flamboyant sailor walked across the water. And we don't want that. We don't want big words. We want your knowledge. And so be careful about that use because it can really, really be seen a lot quicker than you think. Be sure to maintain control of what you're trying to do. Um, Stay very specific about what you're trying to do. Always talk to your instructors, your chairs, your committee members, all of these, understanding they're still learning too. This tech is coming fast. So be honest with them about how you're wanting to use things. Hiding things is never good. I'm always here. We have others that can consult in the area of AI. We're always welcome to jump in and have those conversations. We're doing more and more training for our faculty all the time here in this area, but really, really talk to each other. So as I kind of finish up, I am going to share this PDF again because it is 2 more pages, and I was never intentional to want to get through all of this. I want you to use this PDF to really go in and look at the ideas about using ethical strategies. How can you use AI to your benefit to help you be more knowledgeable? Again, I think my critical thinking has expanded so much just with training myself how to talk to AI and how to use it when it's appropriate. There's application strategies, a whole list of things of where and how you can use in data analysis. It's going to be a great tool for data analysis. Oh, but is that ethical? I remember the days we had to do statistics by hand. We now have SPSS and all these different things. It's the same idea. It creates more effective results for us that aren't biased, as well as math. That I would make a mistake doing one of those very complicated ones now, but I still remember the last one I used to have to do that, and it was agonizing. I'm going to drop that, and I know it's time for questions. I'm going to drop my email in the chat, and I really, really hope you'll write it down, especially if you're a student. If you have questions, please reach out to me. I want to see, and everybody around here wants to see you be successful. If you're at another school, they want you to be successful. But I am happy to meet as a resource as well with anyone because it's still changing. And what ethics means will be different tomorrow after I finish this discussion. So if there's a takeaway for you, it's be proactive for yourself. If you're an instructor, learn how to use this successfully. Learn how to support your students in using it successfully so they can use it in their workplaces. If you're a student, don't wait on someone to teach it to you. Jump in. It's out there. It's free all over the place. The most fun thing you can do is have a conversation with it. Argue with it a little bit. Chat a little bit. Say, well, I don't agree with that. I heard this. And do you have a different opinion? Well, I don't agree with that. Have fun. And it's really quite comical, but you can learn actually quite a bit about things out there by having fun and quit using it to question your own ability, because you all have the ability. Just be proactive to use your ability. I appreciate this time. I really do. It went really fast. But I really would love to hear if you have any questions, because this is an important thing to really, really understand, especially as a student.
Thank you, Michelle. I will just say we got some really great conversation in the chat while you were talking. Harla talked about how she tells her children that education gives us options that we would otherwise not have. Dr. Ron Beach, he talked about how your degree will get you a job, but your education will keep it. Sharissa talked about how she uses AI to upload her papers to look for errors and formatting issues. I talked about
Excellent. I'm going to interrupt real quick, Kara. I'm just going to interrupt. We have somebody with their hand up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hi. Sorry,
Hi.
I don't have my screen on.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay,
What's your
so
question?
my question is, I teach philosophy, and so I tend to think in ponderous terms. And as I listened to you speak today and yesterday, I'm wondering where we draw the line, find the line. Where is the line that separates um, uh, content that has been assisted by AI versus content that has been primarily generated by AI. So I think of, like, our oceans are all contiguous, but yet there's a Indian Ocean and, Atlantic Ocean. And like, so, where is that line? So that's like one question. And then my other question is, how can we motivate students not to take the easy way out? Because why would somebody learn APA, which they can probably get through the rest of their lives without having mastering, when AI will do it right away? So just those are my concerns, and I wondered if you could speak to those.
Absolutely. I think those are some great points. So the line, here's where I'm probably not going to give you the answer you want. That line is going to change every day. It really is. It's coming that fast. I think what we have to do as academics is identify how, I really think it comes from us first, I'll be honest. How can we create prompts that create ways for students to learn how to use it? Maybe they are to use it to find two different controversial issues to share. And then they take that information and they have to consolidate their own opinion based on these two different coinciding ideas. We have to find ways to help them critically think about that AI. I think we can also, I don't think any paper that's made by AI should ever just exist. I'll be the first one to say I have had to be on the bad side of it with students using it to create content. And I don't like that. That's the other thing, is I think helping students realize it really can ruin their academic careers. If they're just going to use it to get by and cheat, I think we've had cheaters our entire life. It's just come in different ways, from notes on the shoes for a test to now AI. And it's harder now because it's more technological. But I think in most cases, people want to be knowledgeable. And we need to help give them the efficacy to feel like they can make mistakes, but use our systems to support them in becoming better. And if we can get them to have more confidence that the software can help them become that person, then taking that easy way out, I do think it's going to help. But it is going to be a change of paradigm. And I think it's going to take some time. But we know, at least at our university, we sometimes have students that just don't have confidence in their own abilities. And I think we need to do a better job at saying, we can help you become that person. Let us help you. You have the ability. And I think we need to say that more often. So I hope it helps with that one. And then how do we motivate students? Really the same way. You don't have to take the easy way out. You really can be that person. Let us help you. Yeah, I mean, the calculator, how many people back in the day struggled with that type of analysis of math and even statistics? Can you imagine how many people would not get higher degrees if they had to do statistics by hand? But yet what we've done is enabled us to all be better researchers, even those of us that maybe aren't into stats. And it's also helped with thematic. We have software to help us with that now, so it's not biased. I think we have to look at it just like that. This is a way for us to help students improve their own ability to think and to really be far less biased than what we've seen from all of us through time, because we didn't have that access. I hope that helps answer that question, because I think it's important. Oh, spell check. Absolutely. I see somebody using spell check. Absolutely. If I didn't have spell check now, you guys, I am a terrible, terrible typist. Terrible. No one would hire me if they saw how I typed. So yeah. Any other questions, Kara? Did you have anything, or are we about out of time?
We are just about out of time, but we had just great conversations in the chat. No questions, but just great ideas of how people are using it. And so I think you sparked a lot of ideas and how to
Great.
move forward with this. So thank you so much, Michelle, for your presentation and
You're
the
welcome. And I'm putting my email again in here. You guys, I am not kidding. If you whether you are an academic, a student, and we just want to get together and have these discussions. I know there's other discussions going on in the university that have little groups because we want to be prepared to support one another through this. I think some amazing things are coming. But if we're not ready to handle those and not ready to handle those ethically, there's going to be problems. And so I hope we all work together to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys. It was really great to talk to everyone today. Thanks so much for allowing me.